everyone, I am jumping on here today because I have been wanting to try the braided look. I just did it on my right hand and I love how it turned out, and so I wanted to show you all how I did it. It was easier than I thought, but I definitely want to show you how it works. Don't mind my super dry hands because, as you all know, I encourage you to keep your hands dry and free of moisturizers when you are applying your color street. So here we go. I'm going to tell you what I started with. Scoot up a little bit closer. So what I did is I opened up my pack of leftovers. So all of those sets that I have resealed the package, when I had leftover strips, I resealed them with my flat iron and grabbed 3 that I thought kind of looked fun together. So I actually have Meant to Be, let's see, Tokyo Lights and Austin-tatious. So I picked those 3 to do this with. And you can do 2 fingers with 3 strips. Will do 2 fingers if you're careful and want to be tedious about it, or you can just use 3 strips on one hand and be done with it. I will show you the slightly more less efficient way, but the way to save a little bit more of your strips as you go. So I have a few laying here that you should be able to see that were from my first finger. And so I'm going to just get started with those since I have them. I'll show you what those were already cut, but I'll show you what I did with them. So I just took the strip right here, and you see how the edges are curved a bit on the side. So I just used my little scissors, my little pointy scissors, to make it a straight line. Just took that kind of curved edge off the side. And I did it with this one also on both sides so that I can make use of the whole strip. Okay. You will get a few things stuck to your finger doing this, but that's okay. Alright, so we're down to this. And then I just picked the thickness that I wanted. I eyeballed it. I just look at it, and I cut it all the way up to where the perforation is up here above that, so that you can rip it off each one individually. You don't want to pull on one and take them all off. So I did it a little bit above that. And notice I have the front and the back still attached. Okay, and then I'm going to go down the strip. I don't know if you can see it with me cutting it this way. And cut a bunch of strips. Using this particular strip, this is definitely enough to do both hands. The first time when I did the first hand, I was trying to use like just scrap pieces that I had, where maybe I had used it on one hand and then cut half of it off to save. So, but if I had started with this strip, this is definitely enough to do. I think I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the gold strips and 4 of the others to do this one. So you will see there is plenty. Okay, so now at this point, I will go ahead and take the clear part off. Be very careful, pull it slowly so that they don't stick to each other. In case they're stuck to that, they don't stick to each other. So now your strip looks like this, okay? Do that with your others so you have them all ready to go. Again, cut that kind of curved edge off the side. I hope you guys can see this, but I unfortunately have to look at it while I'm doing it. Okay, get those out of the way. And do like I did with the other one. Just eyeball it about the width that you want your braided pieces to be. I like them looking a little bit thinner, but of course, you know, a little bit more tedious the process depending on how thin you make them. It's totally up to you. Okay, there they are, and I'm going to go ahead and take the front plastic piece off carefully. Alright. And now for my third color, my Meant to Be, which is not that curved, so I don't just take much off the side. Okay. Just eyeballing it, cutting it just above where the perforation is. You'll also see I've got tweezers laying here. That's a helpful tool to have on hand when you're doing these. There may be times where you need to pick things apart with tweezers. Good to have some pointy tweezers on hand. Okay, peel the front off. Alright, I'm going to start with this one right here. This was actually leftover half piece from my first hand that I did. And it's still got its front on it. I didn't realize it was still on when I applied it. Okay. So all I'm going to do, oops, or wrong finger. All right, I'm going to start with my pointer finger, and I'm just going to lay it up close to the middle so that it covers, but just off to one side. Again, you can turn them as deep as you want or as shallow as you want. You can see where mine go kind of about what I would say in the middle, but you can definitely make your lines go more down, or you can make them go more across. Of course, you'll use more strips if you make it, you know, the more you go side to side, the more strips it will take. Okay, so I just laid it there, pressed it over. I'm going to just use my fingernail to perforate right there, and our first strip is on. Okay, so do like you normally do. Press it down. Get it on there really good. I am planning to put clear as day on top. I think that's going to be essential for these, since you do have a lot of strips that could catch on things. I'm going to file the end of my nail when I'm done and put clear as day on top just to seal everything together so it doesn't catch on things. Okay, so we'll just go with mint next. Okay, so you can see this was one that I had already started. If you are having a hard time getting it off of the backing, you can take your tweezers right there at the top. That's a good place to grab it. And then just pull it up right there. Okay. And now I will go in the opposite direction. So make an X at the very top. Hope you can see that. I'll show you once I get it stuck. How about that? Oops. And you want it to look kind of at the opposite angle as the other one. Okay, so there it is. I just laid it across there. I haven't even pressed hard yet. Press and down. I think these are actually at a much steeper angle than my first ones were, so we'll see how it works. I'm learning this too. And I'm just going to use my fingernail to perforate. And since I can reuse this one, I could have just left it stuck to my finger, but I'm just going to tap it on the edge of my table right there to keep it. I think I made these too pointy down, but hey, if I mess them up, it's all right. I'll do them again. All right, so I'm going to use my tweezers to grab a piece at the top. Of gold. So I'm just taking turns. So those made an X at the top. And now since the green crossed on top, the next one will go from the opposite side. So we were working on this side, so always go back and forth on your sides. So next we will lay it right up against it. If your end has a little bit of a point like that, don't worry about it. Just lay it over on your cuticle a little bit. Like, see how it's up on my cuticle a little bit? That's okay. And line it up right beside. Try to avoid showing any of your nail, but also try not to lay it on top of the one beside it. Use your other fingernail or your thumbnail to go way up at your cuticle, and it will break right there. Okay. And this time, since this one's hanging off the end of my nail and it's not hurting anything, I'm going to leave it there. That way I can hopefully use the other piece of this on our next gold one. Okay, so we've gone pink on this side, green on this side, gold on that side, so it's pink again. And this time, pink will start on this side. All right, I had another strip that I had used half of it from my last nail, so I'm just going to pick that one back up. Here it is. And I will go right beside the green right here. Right at the cuticle. Okay. And then just align it right beside the green one. Right there. And press. Coming right along. All right, since this one's probably too short to use again, I'll go ahead and, just bend it over the end of my nail and perforate it. Go ahead and take that excess off. Okay. Okay, so we were going pink, green, gold. We've gone pink, so now it's time for green. And so since our pink was coming from this side, now our green is going to start on that side. Grab your tweezers. So just keep the pattern of your three colors and keep alternating side to side. I just pulled that one completely off. I was not supposed to do that. There we go. Okay, so our pink was on this side, so now our green will go on the other side. Laying it there right beside our gold strip and stretching it down. Okay, and I had a little bit over there on my cuticle. That's totally fine. I'm going to use my fingernail to perforate it. And it was such a tiny amount that I'm going to have to pick it off with my tweezers because it was such a little bitty corner. All right. And again, I'm going to leave that strip there because I might be able to use it again. Okay, so we just went pink to green, so now it's gold. Use my tweezers to grab here. You guys see, it's just repeating the same pattern over and over. Once you've got it, you get started. Just remember to go side to side, repeating your pattern with your 3 colors, and that's all that there is to it. It is so much easier than I thought it was going to be, and it is so pretty. And I'm planning to have this just as my accent nail, and so I'm planning to put Mint to Be on the rest of my nails. So I'll have just green on, or mint on, all the other nails, and these 2 as my accent ring fingers. Okay, our last strip was the green one. It went across that. It's on top, so that means we move to this side. Lay it down. Run it down right beside the one that was there. Oops, that's on top. Okay. Didn't realize the first was on top. Okay. And there it is. And I could use my gold there. I had gold laying there. Okay, so there, press it down. Okay. Next is, what do we have next? Start using green. All right, so we're down to pink. Okay, let's see. Oh, no, all right, articulate. I believe Color Streets all the time. Top selling, unless it has changed, it is their #1 set. All the time. This one is not behaving for me, is it? Okay, lined it up beside the green one. There, use my thumb to perforate. You know what? I believe that I left the, top I did. So apparently I left the clear cover. This is why it's important to take that clear cover off before you do it, because you cannot perforate it. Obviously, if that clear piece is on, it's a little bit harder to get it off. So do that in the beginning, because I forgot to do that on the first round. Right, I'm just gonna let it go there. Okay, so we have gone, what were we, pink, green? All right, so next is green. So this time I am going to go ahead and take this green piece off the end. I'm very carefully not stick them together. Bend it down, perforate it, and let's see if it stretches all the way across the reach. We'll find out. So pink just from that side, so we're going from the opposite side. Oh, just barely did it. It was perfect. Okay. There, green, we're coming right along. All right, so we went pink, then we went green, so it is gold time. I'm going to go ahead and take that gold one off and reuse that end. That's pretty small. I'm not sure that's gonna work. We will try. I'm gonna reuse one that way. So that piece is not long enough, so I'm gonna try the other one. Let's try that one. Lay it right beside there. A little on the end, break that off. And since I'm going to use that one again, I'll go ahead and break that end off with gold. Alright, so there we are. Okay, so I believe we are up to pink. So I'm going to go ahead and take your lights, take that one off the end there, and use it on the other side. If it's on. And it is. And that, punch that. And a little bit back down my cuticle, break my fingernails, so it's a little off. Alright. We are coming right along, and you guys have the idea. We're just repeating the pattern. Isn't it looking so pretty? I absolutely love this technique. Okay, so we just did, let's see, we did pink. Oh, it's time for green. Alright. Let's see, our last one was, what was our last one? Pink. Alright, so we're back to the side here. Doing the same thing, just breaking it there. And I'm going to leave this one here in case we need it again. Okay, so now we're in green. We are back to gold. Austin-tatious. Alright, and we'll go to the opposite side of the green one that we just applied. And you'll see that we're not needing in the middle anymore. That might be because I used such a steep angle to start with on this one. But that's okay. It's fine. We'll just continue to put it down the side and it'll just fine. I'm going to go ahead and take that green one off so that they don't stick to each other. And go ahead and take the gold one off since we're getting to the bottom. Here, I don't want different ones to stick to each other. Okay, let's see. And a little bit you can see the lines of the underneath ones there. So I'm going to go ahead and put one more on that side. Over there, I'm going to put a pink one over there. It's just going to be a kind of partial piece. I'm just making a little tricky perforate, so I'm going to just cut that one at the base. And break it off the side of the cuticle. Oh, is that the one that's all the cover? No. Okay, everyone. That is all. And now, that was done entirely with my leftover strips that I had on hand. I think I want to match, well, I don't know that I need that. I was thinking about adding another color on the other side, but I don't think I need it. I think we're at the bottom. And I love them. And next, I will add Mint to Be to the rest of my nails. I will take a picture and put it in the comments so you can see what the finished product looks like. Guys, please try it. It's fun. You have an evening to just play with your nail strips. You have leftovers, just cut them and play with them. Use your hole punch. Do different things. If you do use your hole punch, go ahead and take the clear plastic strip off the top before you punch them. It'll make them cut more cleanly. Okay? Have a great day. Make sure to show me if you try it. Bye.